Hi students. I think I'm gonna make an announcement about this, but basically last night I was making the video, and the video after I finished it, it failed, and it only saved part of the video. This video recording program was provided to the teachers from KMUS University, and I don't know why, but recently I've had more trouble with this program. It has failed a few videos now. It's very frustrating because I can't pause this or anything. So basically, I have to just start the video and then I have to talk for 45 minutes, and then I can't stop it or anything. I just have to keep going, and then when I just save it at the end, when it doesn't work, it's very frustrating because I feel like I spent so much time trying to talk about the class, and then it's erased, and then I have to do it again. So probably next week I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna give up on uh, this recording program. I'm gonna try a new one, and I don't know. Hopefully it'll work better, and it's not gonna have the same problem of just not saving my video. So anyway, that's why there are two videos this week. Um, this one should be about 18 minutes long. I'm gonna be checking my phone so I don't go over time. But anyway, looks like we stopped on part G, so let's keep going. Okay, H. All right, so interesting time in Korea after World War II, because as we've learned in this class, there were some foreign people in Korea before World War II and before the Japanese left Korea, but these were mostly missionaries, so there were a certain type of people, they were all Christian, but after World War II, obviously the U.S. military moved into Korea, and probably it was at this time that Korean culture really began to shift because it started to become highly influenced by Western and specifically American culture. And instead of just having missionaries there, now you've got U.S. soldiers, U.S. businessmen, things like that. You've got a different side of American culture, um, and I think it's pretty obvious that a lot of ways this was probably bad, but in some ways this was also positive. And I think what we cannot argue is that it obviously caused a change. There was a big change that was caused by this. This was a big shifting point in Korea's history. Okay, so also at this time, Edward Adams came back to Korea after World War II ended. He did not give up on Korea. He wanted to still achieve his dream of opening that university, and I guess he missed Korea and he wanted to continue to help. So he came back, and he had a great friendship with Dr. Shin, and they also had a strong working relationship. Their fathers had been friends. If you remember, James Adams had caused Dr. Shin's father to convert to Christianity and become a pastor himself. And so the two families were very uh, influenced with each other. Okay, so for the rest of the time, I'm going to just read directly from the book because it had a pretty good there's a pretty good part that talks about Dr. Shin, and I think it's just better to read the whole thing. Um, it actually begins, I believe, not on 126. I made a little mistake there. I think it's on page. Starts on 124. So I'll change it. 124 to 127. Okay. So, if you have the book, you could read along with me if you want. But basically, I'm just going to be reading directly from the book because I think that this section is quite good, okay? So, this is new wine in a new bottle. I'm going to change some of the words because the English here is a little bit, some of the phrases used in the book are a little bit strange, so I'm going to change some things as I read, but it's not a big deal. Okay. In 1961, when President Shin Tae-shik was sworn in, KMUS College's Daemyeon campus was rocky and mountainous with few trees. However, by 1978, when KMUS College obtained the comprehensive university status, the campus was full of trees and known as Blue Hill. I believe we learned before that our university started not as a full university, but just as KMUS Christian College. But eventually, it became a full comprehensive university, and that's when Shin Il-hee took over. Again, I've mentioned this before. I guess that Shin Tae-shik is the father and Shin Il-hee is the son, but that's not mentioned anywhere, and I don't know that as a fact, but it's just my guess, okay? President Shin left the college without any hesitation, but his last words stated, "New wine goes in a new bottle." The Board of Trustees elected Professor Shin Il-hee of the German Language and Literature Department to be the new president. In recognition of his contributions to and efforts to elevate the college to comprehensive university status. So, our current president, Shin Il-hee, he did a lot to make the university into a four-year university as well, into a comprehensive university. With this new era, KMUS University was opened for new young faculty members to build the bigger and larger Seongso campus. So, actually, I don't know about you guys, your major. I don't know whether you're on the Seongso campus or the Daemyeon campus. I guess probably Seongso campus, but the Daemyeon campus was the first campus. In February 1978, when he completed his tenure as president, President Shin Tae-shik wrote a letter to the faculty, staff, and students informing them of the news of the college's promotion to the comprehensive university status and of the new president, Shin Il-hee. His letter spoke of unity within the KMUS family. This was his last farewell and appeal to all the people of KMUS. And then we're going to finish up here on the next page, 125. It says the footsteps of Dongsan. Dongsan was Dr. Shin Tae-shik's pen name. So I don't know if you know what a pen name is, but a lot of times when someone writes a book, they don't use their real name, or book or poem. They don't use their real name, but they instead use a pen name. So Dr. Shin Tae-shik's pen name was Dongsan. Okay. The literal meaning of Dongsan means treeless, barren hill, like a hill with no trees. His pen name closely mirrored the early image of KMUS University's Daemyeon campus. According to Dr. Hwang Jong-yeon's reminiscence, Dongsan, the treeless barren hill, was chosen by Dr. Shin himself in humbleness and deep thought towards his parents. His achievements were also saplings, planted with care in a treeless, barren hill, ultimately growing to bear the fruit from which we all benefit today. Dr. Shin Tae-shik, Dongsan, was a leader of education in Korea and exceptionally faithful to his religion and educational philosophy. Since the age of 6, when his father converted to Christianity, Dr. Shin Tae-shik was a Christian. His father served as an elder of the first church of his hometown, and Dr. Shin faithfully embraced his beliefs and duties as a Christian. His Christian belief was deeply embedded in his body and soul during his time at Kaesong School and Songsil University. Later, when he founded a church in Daegu, Daegu Dongro Church, not only did he humbly serve the church, but also practiced his belief quietly and sacrificed for the sake of the church's development, thus acting as a role model for many people in the community. Dr. Shin Tae-shik claimed that although the school may have been founded under the Christian ethos, schools should be managed by education administrators, while churches should be the domain of church leaders. Okay, so this is interesting. As you know, originally our school was KMUS Christian College, but Dr. Shin Tae-shik wanted to make a little bit of a shift. So he said, yes, we must keep the Christian ethos, we must keep the Christian values at this school, but at the same time, the president of the school has to be someone who is truly an educator. So I think you might say that the earlier presidents like Edward Adams was more of a missionary than really a educational expert. But obviously Shin Tae-shik was truly an education expert, going to many great universities and was highly trained in educational philosophy and science, educational science, okay? All right, where are we? Okay. Yes, all right. Intervention into school affairs by churches and church leaders could be unfair, he claimed. Because of this, he suffered many hardships. Though Kaesong School and KMUS University experienced many difficult times, Dr. Shin laid a solid foundation for their development and prosperity. All right, so little interesting here. It's hard to see exactly what they mean by this comment, but it sounds to me, reading this, I could be wrong, but it seems like Dr. Shin really, again, he wanted to keep the Christian values of the school, but at the same time he wanted to separate it. This is not a church. The school is not a church. It's a university, and educational values come first. So I think that's why even today the school is very welcoming. You don't have to be Christian to go to this school, obviously. You don't have to be Christian to teach or work at the school. But even though you may not be Christian, you still should try to follow the values that are taught. And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. Dr. Shin Tae-shik, Dongsan, devoted his life to education as a teacher and principal of Kaesong School. He was president of KMUS College and a member and chairman of the board of trustees for 2 educational identities. Additionally, he had innumerable accomplishments as a member and chairman of Gyeongsanbukdo Education Committee. He was a member of the Central Education Committee in 1968 and a member of the Ministry of Education's Educational Policy Deliberation Committee in 1972. So he was very active in the development of education in Korea, not just in KMUS University, but I think he was a very important figure just in the whole educational culture of universities in Korea. With such numerous contributions, he was conferred with Korea's National Order of Merit, the Moran Medal, in 1973, a National May 16th citation in 1977, and the Wernam Medal by the ubiquitous Korea Lifelong Education Promotion Association in 1997. In 1992, in the book called 100 Years of Songshir and People, he was featured in the Education Division. In 2004, one of 100 Christians who had exerted a great influence on the last 100 years of Korean Christianity. So that's pretty interesting. You know, he was one of the 100 most influential Korean Christians in the history of Korea. So, you know, he had a very great and accomplished life. Shin Tae-shik passed away on July 19th, 2004, and was buried in his birthplace, Bokdong, Chongsong, Gyeongsangbuk-do. So Yong-hun, the former president of the Korea Red Cross Society and the former president of KBS, said this of Shin Tae-shik. Dr. Shin Tae-shik is one of the seniors to which I show my deepest respect. Though 10 years older than me, he always treated me as his friend. He was a free man who conversed candidly with the entrepreneur Kim Hak-bong, the marathoner Song Ki-jung, the poet Ku Sang. He was witty and open-minded. His visions and opinions were clear, and he was an educator of will and devotion with which he accomplished his set goals. In the time of no true teacher, his noble thought and righteousness that shined throughout his life enabled me to refer to Dr. Shin Tae-shik as a true teacher. Sorry, there's some sirens. Dr. Shin Tae-shik was a pioneer who was faithful to the Keimyung spirit. He was an educator who clearly loved young, talented people. He was a great steward of Keimyung, who took care to foster every aspect of the institution he led. So, again, very great man, obviously. The first president of Keimyung Christian College, who did so much to make our university what it is today. Very great man, a great Christian man, and a great scholar, a great professor. So, very impressive. Anyway, that's it for the video, and thank you so much. And again, I apologize for making you watch 2 videos. And I hope that next week I'm going to have this problem solved. Okay, so have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye, guys.